So later that year, we were sitting with friends. My wife and I were in California for a summer trip. And we were sitting with friends in Beverly Hills at a barbecue. And the girls were talking fitness and the boys were talking, I can't remember what we're talking about, but the girls were talking fitness. And my wife said, oh, we do this thing in the suit. Have you guys tried this? And so on and so forth. And everybody's looking at her like, what are you talking about? And I'm just overhearing this conversation. And sorry, I'm sitting in Beverly Hills. You don't have this? Like this for me was, so for context, if it comes to fitness and beauty in Europe, we generally look to the United States for new things. Like you've invented like CrossFit and SoulCycle. And I mean, literally all the fitness trends are basically originating mostly in LA and some in New York, but that's also our perception. For context, we're talking 2012. Peloton didn't exist yet.
Okay. All right.
Right. So just putting it into context, they only launched in 14. So like they didn't really exist yet. And I was just sitting there and thought like, hey, we have them on every corner. For context, Germany has 280, or at the time, 280 Starbucks, and we had 500 EMS studios.
Wow.
Just from a context perspective, it was so prevalent already. And I was sitting there, this is very, very interesting. Okay, now my economist brain kicks in. I'm like, okay, so here's a thing that is with a short amount of time, with a no amount of effort, with no injury risk, giving me very great results. So the input-output function with this thing is so different from everything else that you can do to condition and strengthen your body. That was like, okay, that's a step change. Like that's literally a step change. Because if you think about it, what we've done a lot in the past is we have optimized and put a lot of tech into fitness, but they only do two things. They track, they tell you how you did, all the Apple Watches and Aura Rings and like all the apps. And so they tell you how you did, and they motivate you to do something. They tell you what to do, and they put a hot model in front of you and a mirror in the back of it, and so on and so forth. Like, so that's all motivation pieces and tracking pieces, but we haven't changed the workout itself. We're still lifting weights and throwing them further and running longer and faster and rowing like in, old movies and the Greek, basically like the Olympic Games are still the same thing, right? So it's like still the same. So once of a sudden we have now technology that helps us directly induce the reaction to the tissue, in this case, the muscle that we want, without all the negatives around it. So it's literally, it's breaking down the fibers, it's strengthening, we can exactly, in our suit, we can exactly say, what do we want to trigger? Fast twitch muscle fibers for speed development, for power development, for erection, slow twitch muscle fibers for general strength, endurance of the muscle. We can have a cardiovascular load that's just inducing a twitch and, burning ATP and glycogen and so on and so forth, so that your cardiovascular system has to work harder, although you're just walking. We have customers that are, for example, not in shape, and they can't run, but we make them walk on a treadmill and they induce like additional loads. So now their heart rate goes to a level that they otherwise can't do. So in my case, I was now out of pain because my lower back got massively stronger. My abs got massively stronger. Your pelvic floor gets stronger. Like, all these areas get like, strengthened because it literally leaves no muscle behind, because it's like this full body experience. But also what I had a lot of headaches, and I had the headaches from, tenseness around my, trapezius and, those areas. And because it's such a intense muscle work that the muscle has to conduct in this 20 minutes, I always like compare this to if you go to the gym and you do biceps curls. If you would go to the gym, do a biceps curl, you do like 12 reps, right arm, 12 reps, left arm. Okay, but for the right arm, you do 12 reps. Let's say every rep is a second. And you do 3 sets. Now you spend 36 seconds with time under tension on your biceps. Right? 1, 2. So now you go to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. But at the end of the day, your biceps has done 36 seconds of work.
I see. Yes. Okay. So the time under tension, you hear that a lot these days. That seems to be like the new thing that all the trainers
talk about.
Time under tension. Okay.
Right.
So 36 seconds. There
So
you go.
36
Okay.
seconds. Okay, so when you do your strength or power workout, it's 20 minutes long, and every 4 seconds you're flexing, and every 4 seconds you're relaxing. It's exactly 50% of the time. Okay,
Yes.
50% of the time of 20. Like,
I
your
can
biceps
attest
is
to that.
working
Yes.
10 minutes.
Time under tension is 10 minutes, right? Your bicep is time under tension 10 minutes. So if that is the metric, that's why we have this delayed onset fatigue soreness that you're like, holy cow.
Yes,
Right?
it's one of the aspects why we can put, because people say, like, we have also this 7-minute abs, and like we have all these things because we know people don't have time. So they're trying, like, people are trying to, like, with other traditional workouts, trying to push a lot of a small thing. With us, it's just a function of the technology. We don't want you to work out much longer than half an hour. We literally don't want to, because we're already putting a lot of muscle work into that short amount of time. So people who tell us, oh, I combine 3 of them, I said, don't. It's not better.
Yeah. More is not better, right?
Right?
There's
No, more is not better.